Hello, my absolutely beautiful Libra friends, and welcome to your horoscope for 2022. We're Libra this year. It's phenomenal because, first of all, we are going to come into the year with your ruling planet stepping backwards into a retrograde, and we're going to end this year with Mercury retrograding in that same area of your chart. So it's a really beautiful bookend from the beginning of the year to the end of the year to kind of see the progress that you're making, especially around the area of home, family, real estate, and property. Now, this is also going to be another year, Libra, where Mercury, our planet of thinking, communications, decision-making, contracts, all of that is going to take a retrograde in your sign again this year. So this is always phenomenal for us to have this energetic space to stop and pause and really think and review where we've been, where we've come from, how we've changed, and what it looks like. So I'm going to tell you right here at the beginning of the reading, I want you to remember to look back to the September, October 2021 timeframe when Mercury was retrograding through your sign. And as we get to the retrograde that's going to happen at the end of 2022 in your sign again, I want you to be mindful of how have you changed? What are the changes and advancements or healings even that you can see from this time? Remember, things are working in cycles, and sometimes we have to repeat it more than once, and sometimes we just need a second pass to be able to see the new actions, attitudes, and growth that's actually available there. So step back so that you can see what's happening as we come into the present, okay? We've also got eclipses happening this year in the Taurus-Scorpio axes. Now, this is kind of an interesting dynamic for you because Taurus is this sister ruling energy since you're both ruled by Venus. So truly, whatever's happening in Taurus or Libra, because it affects Venus energy, you both kind of get a dish from it. But this year, the focus of that Taurus-Scorpio axis for you, Libra, is going to be in the 2nd and 8th houses. So a great year to get out of your comfort zone. Use your creative skills to make money. Look at possessions you already have to make money. How do you make money? Your ideas around money, income, assets, all of these kinds of things, your self-worth, and also how you can be free from old habits, old debts, old lingerings, old vulnerabilities that are not actually serving you anymore, and instead filling that cup with something that is really useful to help you grow and be material world and emotional world productive this year. So lots going on. So let's not waste any time. Let's get in here and see what's going about. Now, as we come into 2022, like I said, Venus, your ruling planet, is still retrograde in that energy of Capricorn. For you, this is going to light up the 4th house space, home, family, real estate, property, your internal psychological foundation, your roots, your parents. So as Venus is doing this retrograde, one of the things I want you to consider all the way until January 29th is what's going on in your home zone. Are you preparing to move? Do you want to move? Have you been working on a move? Is there something going on that Capricorn energy is bringing your attention to that says, we want to make a different foundation here, something that's more solid that allows us to achieve? This could be, I want to finish that home renovation that I've already started. I want to redecorate the house. I want to move someplace else. Maybe a parent is moving in, moving out. All things domestic fall under this particular energy, but the point of a retrograde, especially in Capricorn, is to heal it, seal it, and let it be done differently so that the foundation is solid, you can grow on it, you can achieve, and you can move forward. So let me know what's happening for you in your 4th house zone, your domestic zone. And remember, the Mercury retrograde at the end of the year that jumps out of air and into Earth, into Capricorn, is going to bring your mind back to any plans that have been made right here under this particular energy. So we'll flick back to that as we get to the end of the year, okay? All right, now as we are also traveling at the beginning of the year, January 14th, we've got retrogrades all year of Mercury in the energy of air. So we will see that Mercury has its first retrograde in the energy of Aquarius. Now, Saturn is still traveling through this area of your chart, okay? So it's lighting up the 5th house space. This is about joy, pleasure, self-expression, taking a risk. This is about things having to do with children, true love, romance, but ultimately in the fifth house energy, especially being ruled by Aquarius, one of these ideas I have for you, Libra, is like, what really makes you you? Over this last couple years, you know, really since 2020, what have you found out makes Libra Libra? What makes you happy? What makes you joyful? What makes you unique enough in what you do to be free, Aquarius energy, from having to do things the way maybe you've even been taught for a long time? What's your special sauce? Because when you can identify that and use this Mercury retrograde to rethink, re-edit, recreate, retrace your steps, revise, reevaluate, reconnect with old lovers, old people who, you know, brought you maybe inspiration for a time. If you can help your children go back over something, whatever it is, I think the focus of this particular Mercury retrograde will send you back to, how does Libra do this? That is their own special thing. Now, truly, if you do have children at the beginning of the year, you could be hearing things from schools. You could be hearing things about their creative skills and talents as well. So let me know in the comment section down below what's happening for the kiddos over there, okay? As we get to February 17th, we're going to have Jupiter in this gorgeous sextile with Uranus. Now, when the planets have sex, that's good for us because it creates not only a pocket of opportunity, but in a sextile, we are intelligently taking action on the energy that has been presented to us, to that opportunity. So as Jupiter and Uranus are forming this really lovely connection, it's like you get a download of inspiration. It's like you get this opportunity that almost can feel like it popped out of nowhere, and you get to take advantage of it. For you, I do think that this energy is going to be somewhat material based, like you can touch it. It's very tangible, but this could be an opportunity that pops and presents itself to you. So I want you to mark this date on your calendar and watch what's happening around this date so that you can see what you can take advantage of. And this would be, I would watch areas of your life that have to do with anything regarding your health or health of a daily routine, something like that, and things that do have to do with your business, okay? Now, April 12th, we've got the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction, and as these two come together, absolutely anything is possible. Remember, Jupiter is traveling through this gorgeous energy of Pisces at this time. It's very comfortable. Neptune is, of course, in the energy of Pisces at this time. So they're both in domicile. They feel good. They're living their best life. So anything is possible in your daily routine. If you freelance, work projects that you've got going on, anything that you need to do to help you find a job or find a career path that fits the direction you'd like to go, anything's possible. Now, the only thing I do want you to be mindful of, Libra, under this energy is that it can be really good and you put something on a pedestal or you put someone on a pedestal and then you end up really disappointed. So whatever you're stepping into and taking on, make sure, first of all, it is mutually beneficial and that you have the right size expectations for what you're working with, okay? As we get to the 30th, we're going to have our first eclipse of the year. So we're going to have a solar eclipse happening at 10 degrees of Taurus. Now, it was at 27 degrees that we had the eclipse in November of 2021, but I want you to kind of flash back to that. What were some themes that were going on in your life at that time? And you'll want to consider these things in the area of your 8th house, so joint resources, okay? So this is an exciting time because this is the solar eclipse. You shed some things last time. You know, in November all the way until now, were you paying off debts, or you were aware that there was like weight, emotional weight, spiritual weight, financial weight, even relationship weight, trauma weight that was too heavy, and you had made some room under that full moon for something else to begin. Because as we have this solar eclipse happening here now, this is a time to plant your seeds of intention to refill this cup in this joint area whether it's more intimacy in your life, whether it is setting up that payment plan to be rid of the financial debts that are there, making those phone calls so you can get the real estate or the inheritance sorted out. If it's signing up for that astrology class so that you can fill your cup under the solar energy, and we'll watch over the next 6 months as it plays out, okay? As we get to May 10th, we're going to see Mercury take this next retrograde. Of course, it's still in the air energies, and this one is going to be in the energy of Gemini. Now, we're not going to spend a lot of time on that one. We'll cover them in the monthlies and the weeklies, but as this particular retrograde retrograde is rolling down the pike here for you, some things you can consider for yourself, or just kind of even tuck into the back of your mind, is that because this is landing in the 9th house of publishing, marketing, broadcasting, expanding out, higher learning, travel, any of those things, this may be a time where you're having to go back over some beliefs, ideas, philosophies that you've had. But also, I think that this Mercury retrograde for you is about networking and communicating out farther than maybe you ever have before. So, I look forward to going into that a little bit more with you as we travel throughout the year, okay? As we get to May 11th, Jupiter is going to hop into the energy of Aries and stay there until October. So now we're going to begin these travels with Jupiter, not so much in domicile, right? Not in this pure comfort or anything like that, but in the energy of Aries. So now we've got partnership expansion available. Now, wouldn't it be great if you were using that Mercury retrograde to see where you could stretch your fingers and your connections out? Jupiter moves into Aries and it is like, boom, you're handed some expansion, you're handed some wisdom, you're handed a teacher to help you expand out or help you expand your message and your vision out. That would be very exciting. So pay attention what's happening in the Aries energies of your chart between May and October, because then Jupiter will travel in Aries as we get to 2023, okay? May 16th, we've got our next eclipse, and this is going to be a lunar eclipse happening at 25 degrees of Scorpio. Okay, now the lunar eclipse is still our full moon. It says that something needs to be ended, acknowledged, or adjusted. We need to create a shift, and it's going to take probably about 6 months for us to clear that space out, okay? So as you're going through this with Scorpio energy, one thing it's good for doing is getting to the root or the core of something, right? Because this is happening in your second house, it's like, what's the root and the core of money? What's the root? What's the core powerfully deep about your ideas of money, about your own self-esteem, about your ability to make money, right? What are the energies that are happening here? And it's nice because this lunar eclipse will stir from the root and get you questioning and make you available to deeply transform this particular area. It shows you under light that you can't normally have access to the availability. Now, I do also think that for some of you, this is going to just be phenomenal because it may create an open window for money, for financial gain at this particular time. So very exciting stuff there. Now, as we get to September 9th, we're going to have that next Mercury retrograde, and that'll be in your sign. So this is going to be that time to look back, review, revise, re-edit, but also celebrate how far you've come, Libra. How has your mind matured over this last couple years? How have your words and your communication matured and your connections over this last couple years? So we'll get into that during the monthlies, okay? Now, October 25th, we are back in the saddle. We have got another eclipse, and this one is going to be a solar eclipse happening at 2 degrees of Scorpio. Now, this is a solar eclipse, so 6 months worth of a blast of energy to plant your seeds of intention. What is your deep desire? What do you want to start, right? We cleared out space back here in May. Now it's open as we get here to October. What do you feel drawn to? What do you feel drawn to doing, creating, sharing, buying even? And you weren't buying any big luxury items probably during that Venus retrograde. So right now, what do you want to buy? What do you want to bring in and how you manifest money, passive income, these kinds of things into your life? The solar eclipse will help you take care of that. Now, October 31st, we've got Mars stepping into retrograde. Remember, every planet that we have that will retrograde in 2022. So there's a lot of 6 steps forward, 15 back, So it's an ebb and flow. It's definitely a dance here in 2020, and it is every couple years when all of our planets retrograde, okay? But this particular retrograde is going to be in the energy of Gemini. Now remember, you had a Mercury retrograde here already. So in your 9th house of expansion, as you're getting to experience Mars, the planet of action, energy, desire, strategy, movement, as it's going backwards, What did you launch out? What did you start? What did you redevelop at that time? What philosophies, what level of faith was adjusted for you at that time? And now Mars is saying, let me help you perfect that strategy. Let me help you bring your actual physical action and attention back to this. It is not a great time during a Mars retrograde to start all these new projects. It is a great time to use a Mars retrograde to finish up what needs to be taken care of. Put your physical motion and action in the backwards direction, okay? When we get to November 8th, we've got our last eclipse for the year, and this is going to be a lunar eclipse happening again in the energy of Taurus. Now, think back to November of 2021. I want you to think to April of 2022, where we had that solar eclipse. And as we're closing out with this eclipse this year, you know, what has happened for you in your tangible world, in the material plane? This lunar eclipse is allowing you a release in this particular area. In the 8th house, what is done? What is going away? What have you manifested in a tangible material reality that you can breathe in and say thank you from? And I really want you to focus in from November 2021 to November 2022. What did you shed, create, shed, and create, and celebrate it right here. Now, also in the 8th house at the end of the year, maybe something you created, developed, worked on even in your own home life or your family has brought a sense of oneness where you are more available to help another person. Like there's a joint connection, there's an intimacy and a vulnerability related to something that I think you spent 2022 really making progress on learning or developing. Now, as we close out the year, we're going to get to December 29th, and Mercury is going to take a retrograde in the energy of Capricorn, just like I said at the beginning of the video, where Venus was first retrograde. So now you're going to start to reflect and review and revise at this 4th house time again. So for some of you who were looking to make a move during the Mercury retrograde, you could find it back at your table, but we'll definitely be dealing with that energy more in the forecast as we get to 2023 and of course December of 2022. So my beautiful friends, like this video, comment, share, subscribe. I hope you have a gorgeous year. I look forward to connecting with you all year long in the monthlies, weeklies, and every other way that we can. Of course, the astrology school. So I'll see you guys around then. Bye, Libra.